Let's talk about the SHRM BASK because I am definitely getting all the questions. If you've downloaded it or skimmed it, you probably got overwhelmed and then pushed it to the side. But if you know how to use it, the BASK can help you answer more questions right and easier. So I'm going to show you how to use the BASK in your study plan. Now, first of all, let's talk about what it is. The BASK is SHRM's blueprint for what makes someone certifiable. It is the foundation of every question on the exam. It's not a study guide and it's not a textbook. It's a thinking framework. And if you want to pass the exam, you have got to start thinking like SHRM. The BASK will tell you what that means. There are 9 behavioral competencies in total in the BASK, and they show you how SHRM wants you to act and how they want you to make decisions. That is really the foundation of my situational judgment workshop, because the way SHRM wants you to make decisions is very specific, and that is reflected in the way that they structure the questions. There are also 3 technical knowledge domains. And the knowledge domains are divided into 14 functional areas. These are what SHRM expects you to know and to apply to the questions. SHRM questions usually combine these two. So you'll have one behavioral concept combined with a functional area. That's how they write the exam. With that in mind, one of the best ways to use the BASK is to break down why you got a question wrong. If you miss a question, don't just guess why. Go to the BASK. Here's an example. Employee engagement scores have dropped significantly across multiple departments. As the HR director, what is the most effective first step? You can easily see the employee engagement functional area, and they're also asking you to use influence to guide leaders toward a solution for the problem. That's consultation. So this question combines employee engagement with consultation. Now, let's say one of the answer choices is meet with department heads to explore potential causes, or B, implement a recognition program to boost morale. B is tempting. I know it is, and that's exactly why SHRM includes answers like this. But let's break it down with SHRM's intent. If you go back to the BASK, it will tell you what it means to consult. Consultation involves working collaboratively and guiding leaders to a solution. But B skips that. Recognition might be a solution, but you don't know the problem yet. Low engagement could be due to poor management or the workload or poor communication or anything really. SHRM wants you to demonstrate strategic consultation. If you jump straight to action without analysis, you're missing the mark. SHRM tests for professionals who act as advisors, not quick fixers. That is told to you in the BASK. If you check the BASK, you'll see that every section tells you what SHRM prioritizes. Under consultation, you'll see that SHRM wants collaboration. Under analytical aptitude and business acumen, you'll see SHRM wants root cause analysis and data interpretation. They do not value quick fixes. Now, here's how I recommend using the BASK in your study process. First, pick your topic. Let's say it's total rewards. Then look up where that is in the BASK. You want to try to match the behavioral competency with that functional area, something that SHRM might pair it with, like business acumen or ethical practice or inclusion and diversity. Then ask yourself, how would SHRM expect me to handle employee benefits complaints or inclusive benefits? How would I demonstrate business acumen with total rewards or business acumen with HR structures? Now you're not memorizing, you're studying how SHRM wants you to think. And then here is another one of my little hacks that I use. The BASK is full of SHRM's most overused phrases. It's the kind of language that shows up over and over again. You'll see it in all your correct answers. And I'm going to tell you some of those phrases so you can write them down and memorize them. The first one is align with business strategy. You know, you'll see that one a lot. Promote an inclusive culture. Guide leadership. Evaluate data to inform the decision. Build stakeholder relationships. If you see an answer choice with that kind of language and it fits the scenario, then your SHRM radar should start to go off. You should also use the BASK to self-correct your thinking. The more you incorporate it, the more you internalize SHRM's decision logic. Let's say you always pick training as a solution. Because to be honest, a lot of times they do favor training, and that is the correct answer. But before you pick training as the answer, you need to figure out which section you're being tested on. Because answers involving training are good for people issues, but things like leadership or ethics don't often point to training as the correct answer, because training is very specific. A person starts off not knowing something, and then when they're done training, they know that thing. That doesn't align with leadership, because most often that involves development, not training. So again, that's why it's important not to skip the BASK, so you know what you're looking for. It is not just a textbook. It is not going to give you the answers, but it will show you what SHRM prioritizes so that you can align your thinking and you're adapting to the test. So don't just download the BASK and let it sit there. You want to use it. Use it when you miss a question. Use it before you study. Use it when two answer choices seem really close to you. It is the map of how SHRM thinks. And if you want to pass, you have got to stop memorizing and you have to start mapping your thinking to theirs. Now, if you're new here, I do want to direct you to my first video on how to use the SHRM BASK. I'm going to leave it on the screen here. Now, this one tells you specifically how to structure the BASK in your study plan. It's more step by step. I do suggest that everybody views that video because this one is more general. And also, if you want a guided walkthrough of the BASK topics, I've got courses, I've got tools, study sessions, and I'll put all of that below. If you're already using the BASK and it's helped you, or you kind of set your study station up the way that I directed you to set it up in my first how to use the SHRM BASK video, then let me know that in the comments and show us like a little picture of how you've set your study station up. It might inspire somebody else and give them some ideas. All right, so I hope this helped. I'm going to put everything in the description of this video, so you will be able to find the SHRM BASK there. I'll put the BASK, and the BASK is a free resource, so make sure you take advantage of any free resource that you can get, right? So I will put the link to SHRM's website so you can get the BASK, and then I'll put all of the other study tools that are helpful as well. All right, I will see you next time. Good luck using the BASK.